Hey guys, welcome to Tommo Tinkers. In an episode, I will be trying to create a full application. An application for creating a developer's diary, a daily dev diary, I call it. I try and make a dev diary every day with basically the things I've done and the problems that I've come up with, up against, and what my goals were and whether I achieved those goals, that kind of thing. I usually produce about 2 to 3 pages each day. But I'd like to simplify the process. So live, I'm going to try and create an application that will do that. It'll run in the command line. It will be unobtrusive and just there in the background, and I can add to my dev diary quickly and easily without having to load up the application or look at the context the rest of the day. So it's basically just an additive document writing tool. I want to get as many core features in during this video for it to be usable day to day. It doesn't have to be perfect. Things rarely are, especially because I've not really thought about it too much. So I'm just going to create features that I think would be useful. I've set up a repository on GitHub. This code will be available at GitHub. The repository is at github.com /Tommo Tinkers /dev diary. I think that's the correct URL, but I will paste it in the video description anyway. Before we continue, once again, if you enjoy my videos, please don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon so you will get notifications whenever I release a new video. And with that, let's begin. As you can see here, I've got a rider in presentation mode. I've not really used this before, but I think it makes for a better video if most of the screen is taken up to showing source code. But we'll see how it goes. Okay, so my first thing is I don't really care what the file name is. I just want it to make a new file every day. So I guess the first thing we've got to do is generate a file name. So we'll create a method for this. Okay, so we'll just take today's date. Oh, I've decided to use Markdown for formatting the document. It's very simple. It's supported by lots of tools, and it can create quite nice looking documents. It's better than just outputting a simple text file, and it makes the video more interesting as well. And you can export Markdown to HTML or PDF, and then you should be able to print out your diaries nicer and have them look reasonable, better than just a flat text file. Okay, so I've forgotten how to format strings. So I'm just searching off screen here. I guess let's make our own format. Date equals today's date. The day of the week. And we'll get that to a string. date equals today's date dot dates. So this is the day. Gets the day of the month represented by this date time. Okay, var year equals days. And then we've got the year. Okay, so we will use string interpolation to return a string, so it's going to be the day, the date, and the year .md. And let's just test that. Whoops, that's not right. And we'll run this. And it's not happy for some reason. Cheesecake file. I was playing around with this project before. I guess I'm going to have to create this file. How do I get to the Explorer? I was just playing around with Git, and that's the first word that came into my head. Let's get rid of that. We'll get rid of that. Okay, so it ran very quickly. I'm just going through the this is the project directory. We have a Wednesday 18th 2020. We've not put the month in. Let's first ensure that the file has the content we wanted. Now Typora is a markdown editor. And there we go, hello world. Okay, so that's cool. What happens if we run it again? This file already exists now. Will we get a crash? We do not get a crash. And if we open the file, it's still there. We'll put the append flag in. So now we get 2, as you can see. Okay, so we want it to append every time, basically. Let's get the month in there. How do we get the okay. Can run this again. As you can see, 18th of the 3rd, 2020. And everything works fine. Okay, so we've got the file created. So now, I guess we can move this into its own file. Control-Alt-L for the Explorer. create that. File details. Just move this. And we'll plonk it in there. We'll get rid of the we'll make it public. Okay, so now we have our file. We can write anything we want here. Let's put this, put the editing in a new class as well. Okay, so we want an action of string. See, this is the thing we're going to call to. To edit the file, so to output a string. Initialize that from the constructor. I guess we can just call this start. So if we go back to our program, you can just call new editor. We'll define an anonymous method. Okay, cool. Oh, and we want to call start as well. We have the access to the disposed closure, so this reference could be maintained basically after this this variable goes out of scope and is disposed. I'm not going to worry too much about that at the moment. Let's go back to our start method. Let's just test if we've got it working. Let's rename this. We'll just call it right. We have to put the slashes in because we're only calling right on the stream writer, not right line. Let's just run this and see what we get. Does it work? Ah, it's given us 2 new lines. I wonder why that is. Ah, it's because we put right line here. Let's go again. Okay, so now it works fine. Having gone to all that effort to make it not put in a new line, let's create our own Bright light method. That should be text, not right. It's been a long day. Hopefully I'm going to get through this. Okay. So if we now call right line and remove the slash ends, we should be good. And yeah, we get the two lines. Okay, so the first thing start is going to do is going to prompt you to enter a title for the day's blog. But first of all, whoops, bring up the Explorer. We'll call this console utils, and we'll rename this utils. We'll fix the namespace here. We'll make this a static class. I think I'm going to rename this again. We're going to call this input. Return a string for now. Okay, so this is going to can we just read a single key? And then we'll get the character. Let's call this input. So this is the user's input and to get character. Can we do we can't do to lower on a character. It's very interesting. We can do toString.to lower though. So if it's a T, this is now a string of course. Maybe we should return this from here actually. Okay, so we'll return an option here. And if they don't type anything that's recognised, we'll return options.unknown. We'll add that. Okay, so in our start method, input dot get option, and we'll write the option that you picked out, albeit toString. Okay, so it's now waiting for us to do something. I'll bring the file in. That's title. Okay, so I actually want to change the structure of this a little bit, because if you notice at the moment we keep the file open until we've basically finished editing, and then if we close the program, the file might not get written correctly. And so what we want to do is we want to update the file every time basically every time you enter something. Okay, so we'll create a very simple. In fact, it's probably a method on file to do this. Okay, yeah, so we can just do it like this. Okay, we'll make this class static as well, and we'll get rid of this namespace. Okay, so like I said, this isn't planned, so my issues became apparent really quickly, so we no longer need any of this. Now, the file name's not going to change, so we can actually do some magic here. We'll create a new action. We'll call it file writer. It'll be a language expression, and we'll just use file utils that append to file name, and then we'll pass in the file name, and then the text will be the second argument. So basically we've defined a function there that bakes the file name in argument in. So now when we call this function, all we have to pass is the text we want to write to the file. Now, in our file utils, is there an append all text? Yeah, append all text. We want to append, not write. Okay, delete the old file. Yes, definitely want to delete it. And let's run this. See. So this baking of the an argument in a function call by creating a function that supplies one of the parameters and gives you another function back is called partial application or currying. Okay, so now we have this. We can just pass this as into our editor and just hit start, and we're back to where we were before. I'm going to bring up the source tree, So I can show you where we're up to. We have a master branch at the moment. We're going to create a development branch. Just put in a basic message. Do we want this private? I guess make it private until we need it. Move this to its own file. Okay, so we want to have some kind of prompt to get the user to enter an option. Ah, I've put it outside the class. You're actually not allowed to do that. We're probably going to change this, but let's just put the pieces in place and then we can see what we need to change later. What did we call this up here? The character prompt. Let's run this. Change this to just bright. Okay. So we'll go to the usage of this, editor.start. If the option is unknown, know how to do that. I've made this static. Actually, no, this can't be static because it uses the right method. So that'll go away in a minute. Else, if option equals a title, we'll just call it Markdown. We'll call it create title. And we'll create the Markdown class. It's going to be a static class and it's going to go in its own file. Obviously we need to create this. And we're going to put in well, we need to get a line, don't we? And return. Read line, not get line. And we go to the definition of create title. And then basically all we want to do is return the line with a hashtag in front of it. Let's see if it works. Ah. It's because we made it into a static class. I'm passing out file writer, which I'm going to rename file writer. Local, it shouldn't have to start with a capital letter, not in my opinion. Let's try again. Enter T, and please enter a title. Tommo's Magnificent Dev Diary. And that didn't seem to work. Ah, because we didn't write it out. We'll bring over. Oh, that's in Notepad. Let's do it in a Markdown viewer. Oh, in Typora. I forgot. I think I've got the Markdown wrong. Does there have to be a space? I believe there has to be a space. There we go. Let's open it with Typora again. Yeah, so now we get it as a title instead. Well, it doesn't seem to be a new line there. Let's try writing 2 titles and see what happens. So let's run it again. We have append mode on by default. A second title. Okay, so that should be a line. Okay, let's see if we can fix the input a bit here. Oh, we'll put this after the... That should improve the look of the UI a little bit. Yeah. And let's open it up. Yeah, so now we get the another title on the next line now, which is nice. I wonder what happens if we leave the file open. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Typora hot reload, so we can make debugging a little bit more quick with this. Okay. The rest of it is going to be kind of simple, but there is one thing I want to take care of right now, I want to be able to provide help, like what commands can be used. So I'm going to create a dictionary. And it's going to be of string and options. Oh, wait. Call this commands. So for example, this one's going to have a so T maps to title. So now we don't have to do this. We can just return. Well, we can check if the key entered exists. So if commands that contains the key input, we can just return the command that was found. Otherwise, we'll return options that are unknown. We'll simplify that there. I think that if we do get, also we already have, we don't know how to do that. Let's add in a loop here, so the program just doesn't end every time we do something. And we'll create the quick command now. I forgot how to close an application. I guess we can just call return. We go to input. So Q will be for quit. So now we should be able to enter several titles. And entered Q there to quit. If we bring typo up, everything still works fine. Let's add the paragraph command. Now paragraphs in Markdown always end with 2 spaces. Or you can use a blank line, apparently, as well. So I do like to jump about, as if I spot something odd in the code, I will just jump straight to it and fix it before coming back. So now we're just going to return the text followed by a new line. This switch is going to get gnarly, so I'm going to definitely break it up. Especially since a lot of them are just kind of doing the same thing anyway. Also, these are not required. Those braces were not needed. Did we add the... Okay, so we did have the paragraph command. I forgot. Okay, so now we have some paragraphing going on. Parameterize these. Actually, I don't think we need to parameterize the options one. We'll do the help command in a little bit. I guess this should be called command, not option. We'll leave it as that for now. Okay, so let's put our other prompts in here. Let's put space in there just to make it look a bit nicer. Let's start a new file because it's starting to look a bit messy. We need to fix that prompt because it looks messy. Just open my file again, and here we go. So it's already starting to look well, better than it was. Okay, so I want to create now, I want to have the concept of a section. So a section is going to be a subtitle followed by a paragraph or more paragraph. I'm not exactly sure how I want to handle this, but let's set everything that we need. And in the input, we'll add a command for section, and it will be S. Actually, before we go any further, let's clean up the editor at least a little bit. Handle the unknown option. Okay, so we've got the let's rename and see. We want to write paragraphs within the section option. So this should just be create paragraph. So now we can just call it from in here as well. And it'll just create a paragraph for us. Easy peasy. Okay. Before we start with that, let's create a subtitle command. I don't know what letter we're going to use for this. We've already used the S. Let's change section and call that a block. Now it will be B, of course, for block. And S will be for subtitle. We don't necessarily have to have a command for subtitle, but it'd probably be nice. Right, so let's put it. And it's going to be the same as this, in either 2 or 3. Whoops. There's a bit of bad keyboard acrobatics going on there. That's better. Okay, so let's try and use this now. I'm using the wrong prompt. This is not a paragraph. This is a paragraph. And Q for quit. Let's have a look at our file. Okay, so the subtitle, I'm thinking the subtitle should look a little bit smaller. This is the subtitle prompt. We can probably clean this up a little bit, but it's fine for the time being. Why isn't it like that? Subtitles are one word. to handle the black option now. Okay. The create subtitle. I think it's going to be 3. That will make the heading a little bit smaller. So as soon as I hit it, you should see the file update. Okay, bit of lag. Okay. So now the block is going to be a subtitle followed by a number of paragraphs. Create subtitle. How are we going to handle the ending of the if it isn't key info, what did he call it? Just a key. If it isn't the escape key, we'll keep creating paragraphs. Okay. This is a block. Title for our block. I wonder why I had to press a key there. Oh, yeah, it's because it's asking. Basically, it's checking for another option. Basically, okay. So it's the hang is caused by this read key here. It's hanging the console. It's waiting for it to enter something, so we could do with having a prompt there. If we press escape, and now we can quit. Okay, so we have a title for our block, and now 2 paragraphs. But what if we wanted to I wanted to create something else? Well, first of all, let's deal with this this prompt. No, that's not how you do it. How are we displaying prompts? Use the console for the time being. Let's not use the while loop. Let's use the do while. We don't need the intercept actually. Do we not have access to key here? Ah. Might not be the best way of doing this. But no, I think it is because it fits with my workflow. So I'll start a new piece of work and I'll write that in my diary as a heading, and then I'll write numerous paragraphs beneath that, basically. Okay, let's see what we've got here. New block, so we have a subtitle. Yet another we put the paragraph outside the check, so we want it to go there. I didn't enter a subtitle there. Ah, so if we don't enter one, we just get that. We need to have a check there, so it keeps repeating until we enter something. We'll do that for all of the commands. We did not put proper title for this one. We can now do multiple paragraphs. As you can see, it is appearing in our markdown. Because of the nature of the way dev diaries work, I want to add a timestamp to the beginning of paragraphs, because paragraphs most certainly going to be a single line anyway. So let's see if we can do that now. I'll just close the app. To a long time string, to short time string, there we go. So we'll preface with the time. There we go. So our paragraph should now have a time at the start. I'm just going to delete our messy file because it's getting a bit messy. But now we have a new one. Okay, so 2056. Oh, almost 9 o'clock. Now, of course, when you're creating a block, everything happens line by line. Okay, this is kind of starting to look like the dev diaries that I produce at work. Okay, cool. Do you know what? I'm not liking this block option because we're going to end up just re-implementing the whole option system. So let's get rid of that as a concept. You know, we're just inventing a really overly complicated way to do what it was already possible. Well, actually, it's a limitation. Let's instead work on the help command. So how we're going to do it? We want to store. I've got an idea. Call it this the command, and it will have a option, and it also have a description. Takes both of those in as it, and we get the read-only properties. We should be able to merge these. Whoops, don't want to do that. Okay, so instead of this being options, this can be a command. So now we have to wrap this with a command. Inserts a document title. Inserts a time stamped paragraph. This was the subtitle. Inserts a subtitle. the application. And then we can just do that. Everything should work fine. And it's not happy about something. Ah, there we go. Okay, so this is going to be kind of weird. Sorry, I'm jumping about like I always do. So the handle help command. Did we create a console utils file? We just created a doesn't matter. So we'll just display the help, basically. Now the way we're going to do this is we have our commands. So we'll do it with a string builder. KVP is key value pair. Ah, do it for each key. Okay, so for each key we want to we'll append the line. So it's going to be the key, which is literally the key you have to press. And then it's going to be the name. Well, actually, no, we just need the description. Okay, that should do it. That should show the help menu. Oh, I like that. That was nice and quick and simple. So we've already got a whole bunch of commands. So we can insert a title. I keep closing the file over in Typora. Sweet. And Q for quit. Okay, so we actually have something that works quite well. So let's commit what we've got. So this is becoming available to the outside world for everybody to see before I've even finished writing it. Okay. We could make this as a dictionary as well. Let's do that. So for help, it's going to be the handle help command. Why is it not like that? I spelled it wrong. Handle. This isn't a static context. Oh. Anyways, this we have to do it. Let's handle quit separately. So I'm going to create problems. And then we've got the last one, options dot title. Create title. Okay, so the only ones that are not handled are unknown and quit. So keep these. Quit's a special case because we just want it to return from the start method, basically. So if command handlers dot contains key option, command handlers option, and then we can just execute it. Okay, so we've simplified this. I mean, we've still got a lot of things going on here. But we can break this up nicely. See, everything still works. Can we get help? Yes, we can. Can we create a title? Yes, we can. You can see that all works fine. Let's make this read only. Let's commit this. Okay, what if we want to create a list? Okay, what kind of list can we have in Markdown? I'm sure we can have actually, let's do something a little bit more fun before we do the list. We'll do the quote. Well, it's called a block quote. Options.block quote. We'll create that. We'll go back to the editor. Create the method to handle it. And then in the input, we'll put it here beneath paragraph because it's a type of paragraph anyway. There's a new command, options.block quote, insert as a block quote. So in Markdown, it's just a paragraph that starts with a greater than symbol. Oh, and a space. And then we'll just create a paragraph with the rest of it. And I'll spell it right as well. We'll go back to the editor. We'll bring this way down. But because this isn't using the markdown.create block quote, and it's an input document. Then we have the block quote prompt. Let's create this. I like to make my software just a little bit tongue in cheek if I can. We'll save that and we'll run our app. Block quote. Inspiring quote number 1138. This is non-inspired paragraph. Well, that looks kind of nice. You can do other things with block quotes, and you can nest things within them, like you can nest subtitles and things inside them, but we're not creating a word processor here, we're creating a tool that just allows you to put stuff on a page quickly and gives you only the formatting tools you need to be able to get that done. So why have I got these braces here? Oh no, I've suddenly developed the habit of putting braces on my switch statements. Okay, sorry about that, I was just looking up some markdown syntax. Let's do a ordered list next. Naturally, the symbol for this is going to be O. Let's keep our formatting consistent. So an ordered list just uses numbers basically. Let's have a return there. Can you return that either? Okay, so the ordered list will basically just ask for a number of options. Oh, I think it wants that to be a bool. We'll have them type in end to basically stop the list. And this is actually going to be, well, you'll see what I'm going to do in a minute. Whoops. Okay. If item equals with item will break. Otherwise, we'll just start the list. So there's the list counter, and then a dot, and then a space, and then the item. Just put out the list prompt and being silly. Oh, I don't want to increase the list counter. Let's give that a try. I've broke something. I pressed O then, not B. Ah, it's working too well. I'm just going to delete the file. So I've deleted our output file. First list item. Third list item. Not the second list item. I just want to confuse people. And then end. Let's open up, see what we've got. Let me have our ordered list. Okay. If we want to create an unordered list, don't think that O should be capitalized. I think it, having looked at it again, I think it should. Inserts an unordered list. I'm only adding this in for brevity's sake. I mean, I think people use the unordered list more than use the ordered list. Now, I'm going to do something clever here. I'm going to pass in we're going to pass in a function for writing out the list item. So we'll just pass in this. Right. We'll save this string because we're going to need it again. We'll just rename this to create list. Okay. So here, for the ordered list, it's going to be create list. Call this list counter. We need to pass in the item as well, so it's going to be an action of int and string, and then we'll pass it the item when we call it. This saves us right in an almost identical method to handle what's it not happy about. Oh. Is it right line? Yeah, right line. Okay, so what have I done here? Oh. Do we need another one? So this line of code I've created a little bit hairy. Okay, so we need at least one there. So this one matches to this one. Right, let's take out the lambda and see what it looks like. Okay, so we know that that's fine. Oh, have to do that. No? Does that work? I should be confident in my own coding abilities to know whether this works or not. I don't see the reason why it shouldn't. Ah! Now that's an interesting point. Because the last thing we created was a list. So what does this look like as text? What does it say? Let me just have a look at the syntax for lists again. Oh, so it turns out that we can just do it just has to be a number to be a list. It doesn't have to be in order. So actually that's kind of cool. We can simplify this now. What do we call this? We'll call it list marker. We don't need the list counter anymore. Don't need that. We don't need this. And this can just be the list marker. So if we come back up to our command handler, so now this can be a lander, and we'll just go create list with a 1. It's that simple. Now, the fruits of all this labour I've just done is that we can do the unordered list very easily, but we'll just pass in the star instead. Now we want to make sure after we've created our list that we just do another right line, so we end the list so we don't get lists bunched up together. So let's test this. We'll create another ordered list and see if it appends it. 1, 2, 3. Now this one will get appended. We'll type end and then we'll do another one. Okay, so if we open this in Typoria, oh, we removed the dot. Let's kill this file. Let's be 1 dot. We'll do another ordered list. I can't think of anything else that happens to be in lists. Paul, John, Ringo. Who is the other guy? I can't believe I forgot who else was in the Beatles. George. End and quit. Okay, so we've not got the separation of lists that we wanted. Do we have the line break that we wanted? Yeah. Okay. We'll come back to that. Maybe we have to create 2 line breaks. Well, let's create list. In fact, let's just say, let's save that and we'll open it in Typora. Yeah. Okay, so it has to be 2. Oh no, the lists for building. So it's U for unordered list. Blastoise. Ordered list. Ah, we've entered a blank item there. What's going to happen? Who knows? Yeah, so that seems to be working fine. We need to do something about these blank entries though. So first of all, let's commit what we've got. Okay, so what happens if you don't enter anything? We'll just keep making the repeat until they do. We can't, we'll just refuse to. Accept blank inputs. So let's try this now. Sweet. Okay. So we're mostly there. Let's just go down the list and see. What other features we can support. Oh, we can support a code block. Sorry, I was just looking at something. Now we're only supporting basic markdown here. We may come back and do some extended markdown. So we'll have C for code block. Because we have to add the command for it. Let's move this up. Ah, we can't use that shortcut to move it up. It doesn't matter. I think we'll put it here. We need to create the create code block handler. It's going to be very simple, but we're going to move it down first. So let's first define this code block prompt. Okay, now the create code block command is going to work very simple, very similar to the create block quote command, which is just a it's just a paragraph wrapped in a certain format. Like this. And of course we'll create that with the text. Let's see if this works. Ooh. Have we added a duplicate there? TSPB CUOQ. Run it again. What's it upset about? Ah. I'll explain it. See. Let's have a look at our wonderful code block now. Ah, that looks really nice. Let's do another one. Oh, that didn't work, did it? Right, now we've got it in there. Whoops. Ah, it's because it's inserting the line breaks, which counts as input. Okay. That's a problem. Not something I'm going to worry too much about. But again, it does kind of suck that we have to put our code blocks in as a single line. But this is something of an edge case anyway. At least the didn't crash the program. Okay, so I think we're nearly there. I do want to try something though. Here is some bold text. Oh, type that wrong. So it's 2 asterisks for bold. And 1 asterisk for okay, so we get that for free. I might put that in the help, but to be honest, it doesn't really bother me too much. Okay. I do think the let's have a look at our file again. Are our headings like just too big? It doesn't bother me anyway. Okay, so we've got what we need to create basic documents quickly and continue appending them throughout the day. So let's commit what we have right now. What did we add? We added the code block. Stage that. And commit it. Let's go back to our program. Can we use these arguments? Like, what if you don't want to continue with the same file? I guess if you enter the letter N, then you can create a new file. Is new equals length is more than 0 and args 0 equals 2 lower. N for new. We'll just alias this out to a variable. Basically, we're going to so if it is new, call it dev diary 0. Actually, you know, these more important features we could be working on rather than this, or I do like the change to the file name, but this is an edge case. We're not going to want to do this very often, so let's just not bother with this anymore. Get rid of this. Okay, so everything works as before. What would be cool though is if, let's say the file doesn't exist. We can kind of force them to, or present some options to them. Okay. So let's move this out. Don't need to return there. Okay, so we'll start normal editing loop. So if it's not a new file, we'll start the normal editing. File that exists. So if it exists, that means it's not a new file, so we want to not that. Okay, so let's go back to this. Okay, so does this work? It does not. Doesn't show me where the exception was though. Oh, we changed the format of the file name. Else okay, so we're going to set everything up. So we'll create a title. Should we force them to write an intro? how did we do this? It's options, that unordered list. So we're creating an unordered list for the goals for the day. See if this works. Oh, and then we want to start the normal editing loop. Okay, so we start it with some help to get whoever's writing the diary up and running. And then regardless of what happens, we start the normal editing loop after that anyway. Let's just delete these two files. We go back to file utils and get rid of this 0. What would be interesting is if at the end of the day it can present you with the options you typed in at the start and ask you if you accomplished them. Okay, so we're going to have a look at the do we have our create list? We'll return the list of items as well. Okay. So, this isn't going to work if you of course, yeah, this might be beyond scope, because if you close the application, then this list is just going to go away anyway. So let's maybe descope this for now. But I do want to have a mechanism for at the end of the day you can type a summary for the day. So let's have a command for that. Do we have an E? No, we do not. Insert an end. And then we can add that here, and now in the editor we just need to create our handler for that. Pick up, pick up, pick up. Okay, so this is going to be very simple. Let's create a subheading. We'll just call it summary. We'll just do create paragraph. Maybe we'll substitute out the prompts for this. I wonder if we put in a, where's create paragraph? So we do prompt equals does that break a specific method void create paragraph? But that's okay because we can just do this. So now in our summary, where's our summary? Where did we put it? Oh, it's going to be right at the top, isn't it? Right, short summary of your day. We'll get them to write down goals for tomorrow. And then we'll create an unordered list. How did we do that before? Okay, let's just move this down. And let's go to start, and there's going to be Okay. Let's put this at the bottom as well. Let's see what we've got. Awesome Dev Diary. To be awesome. Write some code. Commit the code before it gets deleted. Say hi to Tommo Tinkers subscribers. Press C for code. And we'll end our day now. And let's have a look how well that went. Oh, there's only one error there. The code looks nice. The list looks nice. It's all looking good. What's the problem with the summary? So right line. Okay, that should all work now. If I edit this in Notepad, you see what's happened. And I'll save that. Now does the create paragraph command insert the timestamp? Yeah. We don't always want the timestamp. But by default we'll have it. Yeah, I can live with that. Okay, so in our summary. Let's go back to the create paragraph command, because our default parameters are in the wrong order. So if we that's no point, we weren't using the prompt there. Let's just swap these two around. So here we can do a create paragraph with false. And in fact we can just we don't have to put the extra line here, we can do it this like this. Okay, let's commit what we've got. Not introductions, only the start of today's introduction. Okay, it looks like we have a fully working application now. I'm sure there's things that are definitely wrong with it and there are problems with it. We may revisit it, but if you're interested or you know anything's wrong with it, why don't you fork the repository and try and fix it yourself, or leave some comments down below and we'll see if we'll come back to revisit this. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.